How do you justify the Imamah concept from the Quran? And why should people disregard the Sunni tafsir on these verses that indicate the validity of Imam? Okay. Uh, about the concept of Imam and the leadership, I said that inshallah, we will have several sessions talking especially about the Imam and about the leadership. But just for a brief answer to that question, I raised the example of Ibrahim, salamullah alayhi. Ibrahim, salamullah alayhi, was a great prophet, and every religion that we today know all go back to the Abrahamic message, the religion of Ibrahim. The Quran always talks about Ibrahim and refers Rasulullah to Ibrahim, and always tells the Jews and the Christians that Rasulullah is originally from Ibrahim. In the first chapter of Quran, I'm bringing the verse. Yes. After Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam passes all the hard and difficult tests from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was literally a prophet of God, we have in the Surah Al-Ibrahim this verse, forgive me, in Surah Al-Baqarah, first chapter, verse 124. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ ابتلى إبراهيم ربه بكلمات فأتمهن قال إني جاعلك للناس إماما قال ومن ذريتي قال لا ينال عهدي الظالم. Okay. Prophet Ibrahim was a prophet of God and a great prophet and a great one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse says that we have tested Ibrahim. We have tested Ibrahim. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبَّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ. Let me to bring the exact English translation for this verse, not just from me. Yes. Yes. And I choose this translation of Irving. Yes. When his Lord tested Abraham by means of certain words and he fulfilled them, he said, Allah says, I am going to make you into a leader for mankind. He said, what about my offspring? He said, my pledge does not apply to evildoers. Here we have Ibrahim salamullah alayhi, and he's a great prophet of God. And we know Ibrahim and his journey and his story. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts testing Ibrahim, which is a prophet, who's a prophet, testing Ibrahim again. And then he passes the tests. And inshallah, we can talk about the tests. Then he passes the tests. So he takes some level and some stairs and passes the test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Ibrahim, إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. Now I'm giving you the position of Imam. The question that the interpretees of Quran here ask that Ibrahim was a prophet and was a prophet of God and a great prophet. What happened that Allah again tests Ibrahim and then gives him what? The position of Imam. The position of Imam. This is just one verse, and it has many discussions around this verse of Quran. We believe that Ibrahim was an Imam. Yes, he was a prophet, but he was also an Imam. An Imam is something else. Yes, one person can have the both positions, Imam and the Nubuwwah, prophethood and the Imam. But Imam and the Nubuwwah are two things. So what is Imam in Quran? Just let me bring another verse. I'm sharing my screen now. I want you to see the translation. Just let me. Yes. Sayyid Afad, can you let me share my screen?
Yes, I think. Is it working?
Yes, okay. It's good now. Okay. So can you see that? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Very good. So in the chapter 21, Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 73, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ, and Allah is talking about the Ishaq and Yaqub and some of the prophets. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِمْ فِعْلَ الْخَيْرَاتِ. And we made them leaders who guided by our command. And this is not an exact translation for now. Inshallah, I talk about this command and amr. What is amr here? And we inspired them to perform good deeds. Okay. Here again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the imam and the position of imamah. Yes, some people may ask, who said Amir al-Mu'min Ali alayhi salam is imam? Okay, that's something else. At the first level, we want to say that we have the concept of imamah before everything. Yes, then inshallah, we go if we can prove the imam of Amir al-Mu'min Ali alayhi salam, with this level of imamah. But for first step is to talk about the imamah in general. Do we have the concept of imamah in Quran? Yes. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً. A'imma is the plural of imam. Imam is the singular. A'imma, leaders, is the plural of the imam. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِمْ فِعْلَ الْخَيْرَاتِ. Again, we reach the concept of imam. We made them imam in the earth, and they guide people by our amr. And what is amr in Quran? And this is the major difference between the prophethood and imamah. And yes, one person can gain and have the both attributes, imamah and prophethood, no problem. But imamah is something else. You can be a student, and at the same time you can be an employee for some great corporation. You can work for Google, and at the same time you can be a student. You have two titles, different titles, but these titles are for you personally, for one person. So there is a position in your workplace and a position in university. These are two things with two abilities, but one can gain both. But many people cannot gain both. Some people are just students. Some people are just employees of that big company. Okay, and some people are have the none. They are no student, neither the worker. Okay. So the concept of imamah, again, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. بِأَمْرِنَا, our command. بِأَمْرِنَا. Okay, what is amr in Quran? So again, don't be confused. First, we talk the leadership of Ibrahim. Okay, imamah, son. It wasn't the nubuwwah. He said, جَعَلْنَاكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. Excuse me, جَعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. Okay, that was the imamah. And then we again reach the concept of imamah in Quran. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. Okay, this is the أئمة يهدون. They guide people بِأَمْرِنَا. What is the amr of Allah in Quran? Just let me just search in this. Yes, you see in the Surah Al-Yasin, chapter 36 of Quran, verse 82. Here Allah has a very beautiful and complete definition of amr. What is amr? Innama amruhu. Innama is some word in Arabic that makes the whole sentence exclusively for someone. Like someone tells you, Innama anta Muhammad. It means that you are only Muhammad. You're not something else. Innama anta muhassil. It means that you are only a student, nothing else. Innama means only. Innama amruhu. And his amr, and Allah's amr. It means Allah's amr. What was there? Yahduna bi amrina, our command. What is his command? Innama amruhu. Innama amruhu. His command is what? إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونَ. Once he wishes anything, his command only needs to tell it be, and it is. And it is. The moment he says be, it comes to existence without any gradual process that we see in the materialistic world. Okay? إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. I know it may be, somehow difficult, but just stick with me and bear with me for the next step. What is kun fayakun? Okay, what is the kun fayakun? So let me go to another verse of Quran. Yes, in the chapter 2, verse 59. Okay, إن مثل عيسى, please bear with me, please. إن مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم. The example of Jesus in the Quran, in the eyes of Allah, is exactly the example of Adam. خلقه من تراب. Allah created the Adam from the clay, from the dust. ثم قال له كن فيكون. Okay, so a creation from clay, from matter. This is the materialistic aspect of humanity. خلقه من تراب. So the creation is over. Okay, over. Allah created Adam from the clay, and then, those brothers or sisters that live in the Arabic countries or know Arabic, they know the difference between fa and thumma. After creation was ended, thumma قال له كن فيكون. He said to Adam, be, and he was. So this be is something apart from the materialistic creation. This is called in Quran al-amr. This is the amrullah. So the amrullah is the immaterial aspect of the creation. So Adam had a materialistic aspect. What was what? خلقه من تراب, the creation from the clay and dust. And then he had another aspect of the creation, and that was the immaterial aspect of the creation. And that is the amrullah. And then another verse, please. Yes. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the amr of Allah. Vama amruna, please. Vama amruna. Wama amruna. Again, what is the amrullah? وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا وَمَا أَمْرُنَا إِلَّا وَاحِدَةٌ كَلَمْحٍ بِالْبَصَرِ. Our comment comes only once. And unfortunately, this translation, English translation, has some issues, but yes, we continue with that. I have another English translation here, but I go with this Arabic person, I don't know him. Our comment comes only once, in the twinkling of an eye. So there is no time here. This is the resemblance, that even at the twinkling of an eye has some time. But Allah wants to say it's just a moment, and less than a moment. This is not materialistic. Look, my hand, when it wants come from here to here, it takes time and space. Okay, it's not kalam and bin nasar. But there is another aspect of this world which is not materialistic. That is amrullah. So we have khalqullah and amrullah. Khalqullah is gradual, yes, materialistic creation. And we have another aspect of creation which is called amr. So let's go back to al-imamah. About al-imamah, again, in the chapter 21, the same verse, we had a concept that we have leaders that yahduna bi amrina. They guide people in their immaterial aspect. This is not the khalqina, this is the amrina. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِمْ فِعْلَ الْخَيْرَاتِ. And we inspired them to perform good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here doesn't say. So someone may comes forward and says that, who said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, here we have the concept of Muhammad different from the concept of Nubuwwah. Now I'm talking about the concept of Nubuwwah, and I want to say the concept of Nubuwwah is something different from the concept of Imamah. What is the concept of Nubuwwah? Let's go to the first chapter of Quran, verse 213 here. Surah Al-Baqarah, the first chapter of Quran. This is the concept of Nubuwwah, the prophethood. كان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله النبيين مبشرين ومنذرين. وأنزل معهم الكتاب بالحق ليحكم بين الناس فيما اختلفوا فيه. This is the duty of the nubuwwah. The prophethood brings the book, the laws, the regulations, and talks to people to do, not to do, to do, not to do. It's not inspiring people from inside. This is not yahduna bi amrina. This is yahduna bi kitabina. Look here, mankind was once one nation. Inshallah, it's a very beautiful verse. We will talk about this verse. Beautiful verse. The whole sociology of Quran comes and can be dissected from this beautiful verse of Quran in the Surah Al-Baqarah. But for now, we stick with our discussion. Mankind wants one nation. So God dispatched, and then we have here وَاخْتَلَفُوا. They started to differ and spread animosity against each other. So God dispatched prophets as heralds and warners. They warn people. He sent the book to do's and not to do's down along with them to bring the truth, so as to decide among mankind concerning whatever they had been disagreeing about. So solving the problem between people, judging between people, these things. This is the nubuwwah, this is the prophethood. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very clearly in Quran talks about another concept, which is called al-imamah. So according to Quran, we have the concept of imamah. Okay, we have the concept of imamah. So we have the concept of imamah. So concept of imamah is something in Quran, and something that even a prophet like Ibrahim must do something to reach the level of the imamah, the leadership. So now the question is, who says that Amir al-Mu'mineen sallallahu alayhi is an imam? Who says Amir al-Mu'mineen is an imam? Inshallah, this is a discussion that inshallah we will reach. Quranic, based on Quran and based on narrations from the both Sunni school of thought and Shia school of thought. And inshallah, we will say that according to Quran, in every moment of the life of this earth, after the Adam subhanahu wa ta'ala, Adam alayhi salam came to this world, from the beginning of the time and the history of mankind here, to the end, to the last moment of this world before the hereafter, we need a personality in this world which is called al-imam. The person whose job is what? Yahduna bi-amrina. And this is something, greater than talking about what? Talking about what? To do's and not to do's. So by, observing the laws and regulations of Quran, we could reach the level to be blessed with that kind of guidance, which is called al-hidayatu takwiniyya. Okay, but Amir al-Mu'mineen, salamullah alayhi, we have hundreds, tens of narrations from the Sunni school of thought, the Shia school of thought, in explaining some verses like Ati'u Allah wa Ati'u Rasula wa ulil amri minkum. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون, and other verses like this, or the famous Ayatul Mubahila. So inshallah, so about specifically about Amir al-Mu'mineen, we will talk in another discussion. But for now, there is an argument here that some brothers of other schools of thought in Islam always raise and talk about. And that is the Prophet ﷺ left his nation and ummah to decide what to do after him. The decision is up to them. Okay? The decision is up to them. They can decide what to do or what not to do. They can sit together and they can have a council and whatnot. Okay. The question is, this is a very important question. If this was the tradition of Rasulullah to leave the ummah and the nation, so they decide the successor of Rasulullah and the next leader, they can sit together and decide the next leader. What happened after Rasulullah when the first Khalifa directly appointed the second Khalifa? without any council. And what happened when the second Khalifa, instead of leaving it to the whole nation, just appointed 6 persons to decide who's the next leader? So what was the tradition of Rasulullah? What was the sunnah of Rasulullah? Was it to leave this to the people? If it was the sunnah of Rasulullah, it was rejected twice by the first and the second Khalifa. So was it a sunnah, a tradition of Rasulullah? To just leave the ummah and the nation to decide? This is a very important question, brothers and sisters. How can attribute the sunnah and tradition to Rasul? And you know that today, unfortunately, many people, blame Shia that you do not abide the tradition of Rasulullah. Okay. If abiding the tradition of Rasulullah is something good and something obligatory, so what happened after Rasulullah? Why the first Khalifa didn't just leave the Khilafah and the leadership to the people? They can decide. Why should I decide one person, one specific person, and say you are my successor? And why the second Khalifa thinks differently? He says, I need to pick some, wise, great people from the companions of Rasulullah. I'm not just leaving the decision to the whole people. Whatever they said, one says one person, another says the second person. No, just 6 persons. And they can say and decide and choose a successor of the Khalifa. So what was the tradition of Rasulullah? We believe that Rasulullah verbally appointed Ali ibn Abi Talib as his successor. And there are hundreds of narrations here, especially the narration of Al-Ghadir, and inshallah we will get to that discussion. But for the record, please, we have a very big problem. And that is, whenever we want to enter this kind of discussions, always, there's a problem. People start to insult each other and each other's sacred personalities. Why? We easily go to the battles. Yes, start insulting one, insulting other insulting him, even killing each other, even fighting each other. Why? We can talk this very wisely, intellectually, without any problem. So we have the concept of Imamah in Quran, and we can prove this. And the concept of Imamah is something apart from the concept of Nubuwwah in Quran. So Imamah is something else in Quran. And then, inshallah, about the specific person called Amir al-Mu'min Ali ibn Abi Talib, and if he was the legitimate first successor of Rasulullah, inshallah, we will go to this discussion, inshallah, in the following sessions.